Folks, we are coming to you now from the palatial office complex of Southwest Edgecombe. We're here with Southwest head coach Jonathan Cobb. Coach, second season on the job here in Pine Tops, but a place you're pretty familiar with overall, of course. Coach, coming off a 5-7 debut season, 2-3 in the conference. Season had its ups and downs, but I think after one season you were pretty happy with some progress made.
I certainly learned a lot. I had been a head junior varsity coach for quite a number of years, and it's a totally different ball game on the varsity level. There's so much more detail, so much more that has to be involved, and I think I've told a lot of people I learned a lot about what not to do as a varsity football coach last year, as well as a little bit of what I need to get better at. My staff and I are really looking forward to our second year.
Well, Coach, you come in 9 returning offensive starters. You've got 5 back on defense. So, last year you had to blood in some of the kids. But, hey, here in year 2, that might be paying off for you some.
Well, there's probably nothing tougher than taking a high school football team like we did last year and replacing an entire offensive line. My first year, we had no experience on that unit. And so what a blessing my second year to not have to replace any offensive linemen. We certainly, I think, developed some depth there. We're a year older, a year stronger. Offensively, certainly we have a lot of good backs, a lot of speed. We return all 3 starting running backs, and in Barry Smith, Marcus Williams, and Devontrell Hyman. We also add to them a very strong junior varsity backfield with Keenan Williams, Trayvon Pittman, and Kanazi Page. All 3 who I think are going to be great running backs for Southwest on the varsity level. There's 2 positions on offense that we are starting over again. That's quarterback and the right tight end position. We lost Fabian Bandy at right tight end, and he was a great high school football player for us. And, of course, we lost Tyquavius Wooten, who was a 3-year starter at quarterback. But we're looking forward to, a change at that position. We certainly have a couple candidates who are working for the job. The junior varsity quarterback, Tucker Pridgeon, as well as a tight end, sophomore tight end from our varsity squad last year, Quantellis Norwood. Both of those guys are tall. Norwood 6'3", and Pridgeon 6'4". Both of them have great arms. They're both great leaders. As far as the tight end position goes, that where we lost a good player, we have rolled an offensive lineman over to that position who had quite a bit of playing time on the varsity last year. So we feel like we'll be a lot stronger across the front.
Coach, talk about 2 quarterback candidates with great arms. Offensively this year, year 2, once again, what are we going to look at offensively? We're going to see some things expand a little more. Of course, the wishbone has been the bread and butter here for a long time. Last year, you guys were a little more multiple than you have been in the past. Year 2, kind of, like we said, moving in a little bit.
Probably be very similar to last year. Certainly the wishbone is a staple of our program. Depending on which individual wins the quarterback job, probably depends on what we do. Offensively, the JV quarterback, the tall 6'4" kid, Tucker Pridgeon, is really an idealistic pro-style quarterback. Norwood kid, a little more mobile. When Brian Foster watches this, I'd say, Brian, prepare for the same exact thing you saw last year. That's what you're going to get. And I think he'll laugh at that.
Well, of course, what you're going to get from this. And Coach, that'll take us right into what we're going to talk about now. One thing we're kind of harping on, we've gone through everybody's schedule. We're taking 3 games that really stick out to us that for our viewing area are going to be really big ball games. And, hey, we'll start right off there. August 22nd, you open the season home against Southern Nash. One that last year came down to the wire.
Well, they beat us 27-14. And we fought our tails off. We had a young football team over there. They had a massive, experienced, well-coached squad, and I really was proud of our guys for the way we fought. I think this year We're going to have another very, very well-coached football team come over here. Coach Foster does such a great job. He's been there. His program is just rolling along. I have so much respect for him and his kids. They're always going to be big. They're always going to be strong. What they do offensively is so hard to stop. It's a completely different game plan than you have any other week of the season.
You're right.
You know, and I've cursed my dad a few times for putting them first on the schedule because you have to stop everything you're doing defensively and prepare for that Firebird offense. Of course, Coach Foster also is a renowned defensive guy.
Yes, he is.
You know, so we're going to have our hands full, and we're excited about it.
Absolutely. Well, you know, for the kids especially, getting, you know, having a big game right out of the gate, you know you've got their focus from day one.
Absolutely.
Where, you know, it's not two, what you might say, smaller teams, and then you're having to build up to it. No, you've got them day one. Hey, guys, Southern Nash will be here. And, I mean, you're going to start next Friday or August the 1st, actually. It's going to be your first practice. You say, guys, 3 weeks. Southern Nash is coming.
Well, we get to find out what we're made of right off the bat.
There you go, very physical. The next one, of course, this is one that has a little bit of interest here in Edgecombe County every year. You know, a couple people usually show up for it. You travel to Tarboro this year on September the 12th. Some say a rebuilding Tarboro squad. The boat's somewhat similar to yours. He brings back his offensive line. That's about it. Jeff Craddock really having to start from scratch with that group.
Well, you know, they're not rebuilding in Tarboro. They're reloading every year.
Well, Jeff would be sure to tell you they're rebuilding.
I'm sure he would. I'm sure he would. They had one of the best junior varsity squads that I've seen around in a long time. So I suspect nothing less than a solid Tarboro Viking squad. And what a tough place to go play. It is a tough place to go play over there on that field. And so that certainly that date has a circle on our calendar and it has a circle on theirs. That we're rivals, and you know, right now we're worried about Southern Nash.
Of course. Well, then, Coach Cobb, to end your regular season, a trip over to Beddingfield. From what we hear from Coach over at Beddingfield, very good offensive skill players this year, and for you guys, that is. You circle that one. That's going to be two teams who are definitely going to be shooting for playoff spots this year, Beddingfield Southwest. And seeding or even a playoff spot could be on the line in that ballgame.
Absolutely. You know, last year they came over here and they had great skill players. They're all underclassmen. They're good at what they do. They've got a mobile quarterback, several tall, fast receivers, pretty good running back coming back, I think. And so we certainly know. I think our conference is going to be very good this year.
Great.
I'm going to tell you something. Bedingfield's going to be outstanding. Farmville Central is going to be outstanding.
Yes, they are.
Washington certainly is going to be Washington, and so I think our conference will be very tough and very fun.
There you go. Coach, thank you for taking a little time out of your busy schedule to sit down and chat with us for a little bit. We always enjoy our trips over here to Southwest. Me especially, because now I get to go home and it's only 5 minutes away. So that works well for me. Coach, thank you so much for having us. We look forward to seeing you guys at least a couple times this year. I know we'll definitely be over at Tarboro for that game, and I believe we've got you guys one more scheduled on there. I think so. So good luck on the 2014 season.
All right.
We look forward to seeing you.
Thank you.
And Coach Jonathan Cobb, Southwest Edgecombe, they are ready to rock and roll. We're going to send it back now to the studio.